I'm home. Hello.
Yay.
Leave the house. You're punished. Punished!
Got it. Okay, stop. Stop. One of the most OG punishments in the Navy. 3 days in the brig, bread and water only. Yes. This ain't the medieval times. This is still the Navy. We still have that punishment, believe it or not, but it is very, very, very sparsely used. Except on the USS Shiloh. The same ship that Mims was on. The guy that was hiding out for a week in an engine room compartment, or wherever he was, in some little compartment, they thought he was overboard, they thought he was gone. This dude pops up 7 days later. That same ship, information just came out through a command climate survey, which is where all the sailors of that command give a little info on how they really feel. So bread and water, 3 days in the brig, bread and water only. That punishment is, like I said, hardly ever used anymore. But on this ship, the skipper, his name's like Acock. What's his name? Acock? Cock? It really is Acock. That explains it. This dude was probably bullied his whole life and had to take it out on his junior sailors for no reason. Anyways, back to the video. A bunch of information was just released that he was threatening captain's mast to anybody on his ship, on the USS Shiloh, for any minor incident. We're human. People make mistakes. This guy was threatening captain's mast if you were just a little late. If you didn't use gloves when you were using a certain type of soap. For any little minor thing that was going on that ship, people were worried about going to captain's mast. That ship was run by fear. If you have to run your ship and your sailors by fear, you shouldn't be a skipper. You should not be running that ship. Being a freaking captain. That's insane. Now, I've heard of a lot of toxic chain of commands in my time in the Navy. Even my command at one time was pretty toxic. We weren't getting threatening with bread and water or going to captain's mast left and right. But for an example, if we were to misplace a tool or lose a tool out in the hangar bay or on the aircraft, even if it was an accident, people's heads were on the chopping block. People were afraid to go out and do maintenance on the aircraft in case an accident happened. A tool got blown away in 40 knots of wind. Like I said, we're humans. People make honest mistakes all the time. And this ship was getting run, the USS Shiloh, with Captain Acock, run by fear, and which probably led to Mims, the guy that hid out for a week that people thought jumped overboard. That command climate probably led to him doing that. It's toxic and it's terrible. You know, the 7th Fleet over there, it's a terrible place to be sometimes if you don't have a good chain of command. I only heard of one person ever getting thrown into the brig and put on bread and water for 3 days. And that was because he did some pretty shady things that I can't say, or else the demonetization squad would strike my video. Because Google robots are reading my words. They know everything I'm saying, they are tracking it. The AI supercomputers, they'll drop me that freaking limited to no ads. So we're not saying, but I'm sure you guys can just imagine something really unfortunate that one sailor would do to another that would be very bad in nature. Very rare, it hardly ever happens, but that's the only time that I ever heard. I know some of you guys might say, well, JT, what about the Chiefs mess? What about the Chiefs, the khakis? The goat locker, they're the backbone of the Navy. They're supposed to have their sailors' backs. They're supposed to look out for their sailors. E7, E8s, E9s, Chiefs, Senior Chiefs, Master Chiefs. Even the Chiefs were so freaking scared of this skipper on the USS Shiloh. Even the division officers. Nobody would go against this guy. Nobody would stand up for anything. They were all freaking feared. In fear of this skipper. And I have a lot of sympathy for anyone that has to be involved in a toxic chain of command, because it will ruin your Navy experience. It will totally ruin it. It will totally turn you off from the Navy. I was fortunate to have some really awesome skippers. One of my favorite was, we called him Skipper Gott. His call sign was Hollywood. He is now the XO of the brand new super carrier that just came out. So he's gonna be skipper soon. Once you're XO, then you're CO next. So he's gonna be the commanding officer of that brand new aircraft carrier. Pretty amazing. So what can you do if you're in this, find yourself in this situation? Unfortunately, if your chiefs aren't stepping up, if your division officer isn't stepping up, you could really only maybe go to the base. You know, if you're stuck out at sea with your skipper, you're stuck out with this guy floating around on the tin can, you can't do anything. There's no one to go to. So you gotta wait till you get back to the pier, till you get back on base, and maybe go to the skipper or the command of the whole base. Or maybe request captain's mast for the whole base. Or go to JAG, or go to some type of service. Fleet and Family, I don't know. The chaplain. There has to be something you can do if you find yourself in this position, because that's scary, man. If your chiefs are scared, your division officers are scared, everyone's scared of this guy, not willing to stand up, then, dude. This dude needs to freaking... And of course he's now retired, has like some cush civilian contracting job, probably making 6 figures, easily. And, man, shit pisses me off. Pisses me off. Off. But alright guys, thank you guys so much for all the support, for watching the video. If you stayed till the very end, I really appreciate you. Fam, make sure you like the video to help support the channel. And if you haven't, subscribe as well, because we're on the road to 60,000 poppies. Social media below as always. I also have a Patreon in the description below if you want to help support the channel more. I will see you guys very soon. Brand new videos almost every day. Goodbye.
In my eyes, in this